Ohio State Glazers, wow, they play literally no one. Texas and Illinois turned out to be frauds. They generally have no hard games this year. Whew, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, pal, but you are just highly misinformed and you have no idea what you're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Sunday. Hope all of you having a great weekend. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And clap it up. Third video in one day. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? But wait! Just like Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. There's more. If we can get this video, look, I'm going to give you a proposal. If this video gets 500 likes in 1 hour, I will release my reaction to the AP poll tonight. We'll do 4 videos one day. What they talking about? I told you at the beginning of the year, don't play with the MBG sweatshop. It's open 24/7. It never shuts down. It never closes. You know how much sleep I'm running off of? I had to stay up late to watch the Seminoles lose last night. You know what time I went to bed after watching some film and whatnot? 3:30 a.m. You know what time I got up this morning? 5:30 a.m. I'm not saying that to brag or gloat or anything like that. Just giving you perspective on the behind the scenes of the MBG sweatshop. It's a real thing, man. Somebody's got to record and edit all these videos. And as y'all know, not only am I the CEO, clap it up. CEO Matt in the building. I'm also the janitor. I'm also the director of productions. I'm also the sound check guy. I'm also the videographer. I'm also the manager, the CFO. You get the point. One-man band. You know what's crazy? I just thought about this. I need to chill out in these videos. There's some random person who just randomly got recommended this video and was like, oh, wait, I can't see what these top 12 rankings look like. And he's watching right now going, what in the world have I gotten myself into? Hey, brother, welcome to a Matt Be Great video. 80% BS, 20% football. All right, you dweebs, you know what this is. This is the MBG poll. I give you the top 12 teams, not the top 25, not the top 20, top 15, the top 12. And there's nothing really to explain. We're going to get straight into this. Already popped up last week's rankings on the screen. Let's get into close. Some weeks I do a close category. I got Notre Dame. Me and you both know I do not want to put Notre Dame in the top 12. I have them banned from being inside the top 12 to start the season. However, they are looking good. They're close. Also, I could have thrown them in there as well. Vanderbilt, I got them around 13, 14. Who else? Oh, yeah, the BYUs, they're undefeated. I probably not thinking about it in hindsight. I should have put Notre Dame, BYU, and Vandy, so I do apologize to the BYU and Vandy fan base. But you are close to my top 12. Coming in hot at number 12, they lost. I got the Texas Tech Red Raiders, self-explanatory. At number 11, they go up. They're not really impressive. It's not fun to watch. It's actually really ugly to watch, if you want to be honest. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, but they're undefeated. They're 7-0. At number 10, I got Oklahoma. Like always, people overreact to one loss. They lost to Texas. That Texas loss looks horrendous, but it is a rival game for them, so a little bit different there. They go up a spot, not because they did anything impressive, but because I dropped Texas Tech. Same thing for Oregon. Oregon didn't impress me. Texas Tech was in front of you. They lost, so you go up one spot. Here we go. I know this one's going to be controversial. I haven't even looked at the replies. I saved that for this video. I react to some comments and whatnot when I get done explaining my rankings. Tennessee. Everybody is going to be like, Matt, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Tennessee just lost. Hey, I know. But outside of that terrible, and I mean terrible, 99-yard pick six before half, Tennessee played Alabama evenly. So you can't sit up here and say or tell me, Matt, Alabama's looking like one of the best teams in the nation, in which they are, and disrespect Tennessee because Tennessee played just as good as Alabama in that game. Look at the box score if you think I'm lying. It was an even matchup. The separator in this game was the pick before half. It went from a 1-score game to a 3-score game just like that. It changed the game entirely. And Tennessee in the second half, you could argue and say they almost outplayed Alabama. They was going score for score with them. It's just that one play, man, that one play in their other loss, Georgia. They should have beat Georgia. They outplayed Georgia in that one. I know you can't play the what-if game, but I still think Tennessee is easily a top 10 team. At number 7, I drop Ole Miss. You didn't look, how do I say this? You didn't look bad, but they are who I thought they are. They were undefeated heading into the game. The defense is horrendous. You couldn't get one stop at all. However, the offense was promising, and I think if I'm an Ole Miss fan, I'm feeling pretty good. You win in Athens, Georgia. Played them close. I know it's devastating to lose the way you did. Just couldn't get a stop, and you was beating them in the fourth quarter, early on at least. But it's nothing to hang your head about. At number 6, we got Miami. I thought long and hard about this one. Actually, if you want some behind the scenes on this too, this was the longest it took for me to formulate my top 12. I thought about this for easily, I'd say 45 minutes to an hour. I thought about dropping them a little bit farther. I thought about actually keeping them ahead of A&M. You'll see where I have A&M in just a second. I stuck them at 6. When you look at their body of work, it's not bad. I have no idea where the AP nerds are going to have them. Probably lower than 6. But I kept them at 6 because they only lost because of their quarterback. Look at their defense. Carson Beck had 4 turnovers. Louisville didn't score once off of them. Malachi Toney is a demon. If Miami wins this game, we're talking about how Malachi Toney should be up for the Heisman Trophy. They lost, so we're talking about Louisville a little bit. Miami's still a great team. Don't overreact to one loss in which Carson Beck can't play any worse, and Miami was still in the game. Number 5, I got A&M. I'm not high on them. They only go up because Miami lost. That's all there is to it. They are undefeated. I do respect them. Here's why I gave A&M the edge over Miami, because it was so close. They both have a common opponent. They both barely squeaked out a win over Notre Dame. However, I think A&M's resume is a little bit better because they're undefeated. So since A&M's undefeated, they have a common opponent, I'm giving the edge to A&M. I think that one makes perfect sense. And number 4, I got the Georgia Bulldogs, one of the best teams in the country. If they're not playing Alabama, they're going to win. I know we joke about it and whatnot, but seriously, it's crazy. Alabama has some voodoo over those boys. And number 3, I got the Fighting Cincinnati's. This one isn't complicated. They only go up because Miami lost. Number 2, I got Alabama to give you some context and perspective. Last week, I had Alabama number 3, Indiana 4. So both of them, I didn't learn anything new about them. I was already high on them heading into the weekend. Alabama goes up a spot because Miami lost. And number 1, I got the Louisville Ohio State. Let me emphasize this. The gap between number 1 and number 2 is insurmountable. It is by far the biggest of any year I've ever talked about college football. It's Ohio State, and it's everybody else. Whew. When I tell you it's not close, that doesn't do it any justice. It's not even in the same realm and atmosphere. Ohio State is head and shoulders above whoever you have as the second best team. I don't care if you want to say it's Indiana, Bama, Georgia, Miami, whoever you're throwing in there. Texas A&M. The gap between Ohio State and whoever's at 2 is massive. That's really it for the top 12. There's not too much explaining to do. However, when I read these comments, I know I will be explaining myself. As always, if you want access to these rankings early, I post them on Twitter Saturday night or sometimes early Sunday morning. Let's check out the comments, shall we? Vandy would like a word. Hey, I know I got Vandy around 12, not 12, but 13, 14 around the area. They're close. But here's what you got to understand for me. Just because the AP nerds had LSU at number 10 in their rankings, reminder, I didn't have LSU ranked last week. So Vandy beating LSU is not impressive to me. Why would Alabama jump Indiana? See, you have to know what you're talking about before you write comments like this. I had Alabama ahead of Indiana heading into the week. You're looking at the AP poll. I'm comparing these rankings to last week's rankings for the MBG poll. My poll, not the nerds, my poll. So Alabama didn't jump Indiana. Alabama was already ahead of them. We got to start having an honest question about Texas Tech because what have they done that Vandy hasn't? That's a good point. Vandy's close. Texas Tech, I got them at 12. Vandy, they're right around 13 or 14. It's not that big of a gap. Eli said, Indiana has a top 5 road win and no blemishes on its record. Bama has a top 5 road win and a loss to an unranked FSU. There's no reason Alabama should be in front of Indiana. Well, there is 4 reasons why Alabama should be ranked ahead of Indiana. 4 straight wins versus top 16, not top 25, top 16 teams in the SEC. 4 straight. And actually, it's probably top 15 by the time this new AP poll gets released. 4 straight wins. Do you know it's the first time in SEC history a team within the conference has beat 4 straight SEC opponents without a bye week? Ranked inside the top 25. And it's not even just top 25, top 15. That's why Alabama's ranked ahead of Indiana. Their resume is way better than Indiana's. It's a resume thing, man. I'm more of a pro, hey, strength of schedule guy compared to if you go, for example, we'll say 11-1 or 12-0, but you play a schedule like Boise State played last year. That doesn't impress me. You know what does impress me? If you go 9-3 and 10-2 and you play 7 ranked teams during the year. Unlike others out in here, I reward teams for playing a great schedule. And also, you got to throw this in there. That was week 1. Alabama didn't have any film on Florida State. It was a completely different team. It was a road game, and I could go on and on and on. Some people are going to call me excuses, but it's just reality, and I'm explaining it. People are acting like Alabama lost to a group of 5 school. It's Florida State. Look, I know Florida State sucks this year. I'll be the first person to tell you that. But they were fired up for that game in week 1, and we can all agree and vouch. The way Florida State looked in week 1, we thought they were a top 10 team. I'd put Notre Dame in over Texas Tech. ND lost 2 games to top 10 teams by a combined 4 points. Texas Tech's best win is Utah, and the next best team they've played beat them. Yeah, here's the thing with Tech. Utah's probably going to be unranked when these new rankings come out. They haven't beat a ranked opponent. Notre Dame, you got an argument, but it's the 2 losses, man, thing. The 2 losses thing. And Notre Dame, if you really want to get down to the nit and gritty, they haven't beat anybody. USC's their best win. Tennessee lost both of their big games so far against Alabama and Georgia. What have they done to deserve being ranked ahead of Oregon? Well, here would be my question to you. What has Oregon done for them to be ranked ahead of Tennessee? Riddle it to me in the comment section. I'm asking you the same question. Nothing. Oregon hasn't done anything. Ohio State Glazers wild. They play literally no one. Texas and Illinois turned out to be frauds. They generally have no hard games this year. Whew. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, pal, but you are just highly misinformed and you have no idea what you're talking about. Ohio State is the best team in the country, and it's not even close. I see your argument, but it's a flawed one. Let me explain. I'll give you a great example. This is the equivalent of watching LeBron James go to his local or your local YMCA, dominate the competition, and go, yeah, but you're playing a bunch of bums. Point being, it doesn't matter if LeBron's playing the best of the best, he's playing NBA players, or some randeezes at the YMCA or the Boys and Girls Club. He's going to dominate. Same thing at Ohio State. It doesn't matter if they're playing Illinois. It doesn't matter if they're playing whoever. They're going to dominate. I'm confused to what Tennessee did today to jump Oregon besides Luke. Dude, I just can't get over the fact Tennessee didn't jump Oregon. I had Tennessee ranked ahead of Oregon heading into this week. Y'all are looking at the AP rankings and then comparing them to mine. No. You have to look at my rankings from last week. It's the last time I'm explaining it. You can't have Bama that high with a horrible loss to FSU. All games matter, not just the ones you want. What do you mean I can't? They're my rankings. I can have Alabama wherever I want. I can have any team where I want. What are you talking about? We'll go with one more comment here. I would have to put Bama at number 1. Their strength of schedule is so much stronger than anyone else. It's not even close, to be honest. They keep getting better and better each week, and if they get key players back from injuries on defense, they're going to be scary and impossible to deal with. I agree with that. Bama is getting better and better and better every single week. Their strength of schedule, it's unmatched. I'm sure it's up there, top 5, if not top 3, top 2, maybe even number 1 in the nation. But Ohio State, man, they're just, I'm telling you, they are a different breed. Many more things I could say. Super busy. If you guys want to see an AP reaction video tonight, what did I say? 1,000 likes or 500 likes an hour, something like that. I'm sure we'll do it. Let me know your thoughts down below. But